Welcome to the Win, Make, Give podcast, season 2, all about winning. We are here with Bob Stewart and Chad Hyams, and this has been Kinney. We are knee-deep, ladies and gentlemen, into the Traits of a Winner series. Chad, explain to us how the Traits of a Winner series works in case somebody just decided to join us for the first time tonight for our late night love songs here. Go ahead, Chad.
Well, for those of you who are just joining us, please forgive my friend Ben there. Those of you who are just joining us on the Traits of a Winner series, what we've been doing is we have determined what the 6 leading traits were for a winner, and we are bringing you an episode at the beginning of each week where we talk about the trait, and then we are bringing you an interview with an expert, someone in the professional world that we've had the chance to interview. So far, Ben, we've talked to a Paralympic gold medal winner. We have talked to a professor. We have talked to an Army Ranger, and they'll just have to stay tuned to see who we're going to be talking to after this episode at the end of it.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are covering
accepting responsibility.
Accepting responsibility. This is something that we identified as a trait of a winner.
Absolutely.
What does this mean? Really what this means is we are going to take the time to acknowledge our own responsibility for the results that we're getting in our life, our business, our finances, or our relationships.
And our health. Sorry, just got to throw that back in there.
Never going to let you forget that one, by the way. You keep trying.
What are the good things that we're doing and what are the bad things that we're doing that's holding us back from winning or helping us win at a massive level? Now, the tendency, unfortunately, inherently inside us, Chad, is we look around for somebody else to point our fingers to.
Absolutely. And
someone else or something else.
Yeah, always we do this. And Ben, for all of our listeners who are not driving at the moment, I would challenge them to literally point at somebody or something else. Right? Drivers, keep your hands on the wheel, 10 and 2 where they should be. Now, if we point at someone else, what happens? Bob, as you're pointing at me, how many of your own fingers are pointing right back at you?
3.
Yeah, 3 of your own fingers are pointing right back at you. And I want everyone to understand out there as we talk about this concept, Ben, that when we're blaming someone else and pointing at them,
I have to
we're
tell
pointing
you,
at ourselves.
I have to tell you, Ben is over here. He's pointing and he's looking at like what he does. That's a weird point. If you wrap your fingers all the way into your palm of your hand, that's how you point?
Well, it's interesting.
Well, I was just checking to see, and like I make a fist because I'm ready to roll or rumble.
He does.
You know?
He makes a fist when he points.
I'm not pointing at anybody. They're deflecting.
That's an aggressive point.
So he's got an aggressive point. You and I had the natural point where 3 fingers are pointing back. And Nita has learned when she's blaming me for something, she comes palm open. All of those fingers are coming right at me going, this one's on you, buddy. Right? I mean, she's learned it. So, Ben, we are always looking for someone else to point the blame at. But we have to remember, we're always pointing at ourselves.
This podcast is so stupid. I don't know why any of you listen. Please just turn this off, switch to something good. Joe Rogan probably has 3 hours for you to jump on right now. Taking responsibility. This also means being accountable so that we can make some changes in our lives. So like on every episode, we came up with a list of things that we think would help us in being more accountable, more responsible, not placing blame, and finding a way to get ourselves further out of the rut or to win more. So the first trait of taking responsibility, Chad, is to resist the temptation of blaming anyone else. Yeah. Resist the temptation. Well, it's my spouse's fault. Well, you married him, right? You dated him. You chose him. It's my boss's fault. You agreed to work there. Like at the end of the day, what are the decisions that are causing us to continually get into the same bad work relationships, the same crappy relationship, the same whatever? At the end of the day, we have to understand that it's us.
There's always our fingerprints on it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an obvious one, to stop blaming other people.
Well, you got to think about it. Are you willing to mentally start correcting yourself whenever there's a problem when you start talking about somebody else. Just say, no, this is on me. It's either I hired them, right?
Right.
I didn't lead them correctly. I didn't do my 3 fiduciary duties of a leader. Like, at the end of the day, it's our company, right? It's our fault.
Yep. Or we got into a relationship with them, or we are in that situation. Nobody made us eat that 3rd cheeseburger, Ben.
Yeah. 3rd. Who stops at 3? Next. We can't make excuses. If you're going to be responsible, you can't make excuses. Our friend, who you'll hear from again on our podcast soon, Clint Swindoll, would say you have to be careful that you don't fall into the butthole.
That's right.
What's the butthole, Chad?
Hey, Ben, you're looking great today, but, right, I wanted to talk to you about what you're wearing.
Or I'm doing good, but you got to be careful that you don't fall into the butthole. I don't appreciate that you started with the "you look good today," but example, Chad, because I like you, but not today. We have to stop making excuses.
Yes.
All that is validating our bad decisions instead of taking responsibility.
Yeah. How many times have you been late somewhere? And I'm just to everybody out there listening, and then we blame traffic. Right? We'll just say, well, traffic was horrible. Well, why didn't you leave early enough?
The same traffic that you have every Thursday night at 5 o'clock?
Right. It's always the same way. You know when rush hour is. You know that situation. Stop making excuses. Plan for it.
It's funny. I've been thinking about this a lot in my world as I get onto a call or walk into a meeting and whatever happened, I might be late from time to time. And I walk in there and I try to tell them a story about why I was late. I've just been trying not to do that. I've just been trying to walk in and say, I'm sorry, I screwed up. Please forgive me.
Well, there you go. That's taking responsibility for it when it comes to it and accepting that it's on you.
Because making an excuse is basically not taking responsibility for what I just did to that individual that I was late for. You don't need the story. In addition to not making excuses, let's add to that one without creating a new one, Chad. You don't need a story. Right? You don't need a story. You don't need to tell the entire thing about what happened last weekend and this is why this happened and you got a flat tire. No, you don't need a story. I apologize. I'm late. That makes sense?
Absolutely. Number 3?
What we need to do is to take responsibility. We need to have clarity on where we're going.
Okay.
Because if you don't know where you're going, how can you be responsible for anything? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Right? Imagine you just get in your car, you don't put it anywhere in the GPS, you just drive around. Did you win or did you lose? Well, you don't know. You didn't have a destination in mind. You gotta know the destination. We say often in the show, the lack of accounting means the lack of accountability.
Yes.
If you don't have a destination, how can you account how close you got to that destination or not?
Yeah, and we did a whole episode about this with you in season 1 on turning right, and it's become an expression to turn right. That was purposeful. You weren't looking for a destination in that situation. You just needed to go somewhere. That's different than what we're talking about here. So everybody out there listening to Ben talking and saying, well, Ben, wait, you just turned right and did that whole journey. Okay. It wasn't until you were ready to head back home or when you came to certain places that you were like, oh, I really want to see that fossil guy. Now you did have a destination. Now you did have destinations along the way. You had clarity that came along the path.
Yeah. Let's take the next one, Chad.
Okay.
Take a first step. And this is something that I see often in people that I believe are being irresponsible, especially, Bob, the people we talked to that went through the Well Series or whatever. And they say, I'm just waiting for this to happen. As soon as I pay off this, then I'm going to do that. As soon as this happens, as soon as I get a raise, I'm going to do that.
I'm getting my plan together.
Getting ready to get ready?
Yeah.
As soon as I save this amount of money, I'm going to do that. What's the first step? Being responsible, right? Having a sense of responsibility says, I am willing to determine what the first step is. Well, if you don't have $100, that's the first step. Because if you don't have $100, you're not going to get 10,000. You're not going to get 100,000, whatever that might be. So what is the first step? Chad, in health, give us some examples of what the first step would be.
First step's going to be acknowledging what got you where you are most of the time.
Okay, what's the next step?
Next step's going to be finding somebody or creating a program that you can follow to get where you're going.
Yeah, coming up with a plan.
That's it. Having the plan. What's that next step? It might be, eliminating sugars. It might be changing your diet. It might be adding workout to it. Who knows? And it's going to be different for everybody, but it's having those first few steps in place to have that plan, which is taking that first step. With our money in the wealth series, Bob, what was it that the first step was? What's the first thing anybody should be doing following the wealth series?
Figuring out our expenses.
Putting together our net worth tracker, absolutely, which starts with figuring out our expenses on there, taking the first step. Everybody can do it. Maybe you're not in a position to make a huge investment. Maybe you're not ready to dive into the stock market. Maybe you're not ready to buy another property or something. But you could start with step one, which was, what do I spend today? So I can start cutting that back and saving, which we talk about in the wealth series.
I mean, that's you doing your expenses is such a great example of taking responsibility, right? Taking responsibility for I have this much income coming in and I'm spending this much. Like, let me get responsible around my spending.
And how much of your spending doesn't need to be spent? I mean, how much of it is discretionary spending
still
that
too much,
that we're spending on, I don't know, a subscription to Hulu that you haven't turned on since a year ago when they had something.
Say on the hat collection, I was about to come over the table at you.
No, I wouldn't call out your hat collection, Bob.
Let's talk about the next step in the journey of being more responsible, Chad. Not complaining about the journey. If you're going to accept responsibility, you aren't going to complain about the journey of getting back in shape. You didn't complain about the journey of getting out of shape, right? Don't complain about the journey of solving the problem. Don't complain about all the sacrifices that you're making financially. It's an important piece of being a more responsible individual is not complaining about the journey.
Bob, have you done the long road trip with the boys yet?
I mean, I've been on a plane, a flight that was too long, but we haven't been in a car for 24 hours or anything nuts yet.
And what do we know the kids are going to say when we lock them in the back of a car and we're driving somewhere, or even on the plane they might have been doing it? It's the words that every parent hates to hear.
The trunk is really dark?
This is why we don't let Ben have
This is why
children.
Ben does not procreate, right? No. Are we there yet?
Are we there?
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Well, this is what you're talking about, right, Ben? You can't complain while we're on the journey. If you want the road trip to go to Disney, if you want to get yourself back in shape, if you want to build, don't complain about what you're going through because you want what's waiting at the other end.
Yeah. Next one, make public commitments.
Oh, that's good.
If you want to be responsible, right, it's easy to let ourselves down. We let ourselves down all the time. We hide in the corner. Nobody knows because we're sitting in the dark.
Yeah.
We're eating ice cream bars in the bathroom with the lights off so nobody sees us. You got to make a public commitment. You got to say, like, who am I going to let down if I don't stick to this? So you're going to say, you know what, Chad, I'm going to pay off my debt. I'm going to lose this weight. I'm going to do this thing. Make a public commitment. By doing that, you are taking responsibility and you're recruiting others to be a part of that journey.
I have an admission. I ate a whole pint of
if you
cookie
say
dough ice cream last night in the dark with the lights on.
You did?
and spit out all the chocolate pieces too while you're
No,
at it,
I ate
Bob?
the chocolate pieces.
Yes!
I chomped
Finally
them away.
ate the
They were all
chocolate
stuck
chunks.
in my teeth at the end. I had like a solid line of chocolate teeth on the bottoms, Like
Here's what I found is if nobody saw you eating the ice cream, you actually don't gain weight from it. That has been the journey. That's what I figured out, Chad. If nobody sees you, you don't gain weight.
Not working, Ben.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the secret to
that
success.
pint last night didn't add a pound. Though.
Okay.
Good.
Next step.
Number 7.
You have to create the habits.
Yes.
If you're going to be responsible for something, ask yourself a simple question. What habits am I going to have to create or keep or break
Yes.
in order to get on track to make this thing happen? Whatever you're taking responsibility for.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, how long would Jay Papasan in his book, The One Thing, say that it takes to create a habit?
18 days to 254 days, but the sweet spot is 66 days.
So if you can stick to something on average of 66 days,
Yep.
there's a much better chance that it's going to be something that you live with.
And how many days does it take to break a habit? It takes the same 66 days because you have to create a new habit or a habit of not doing what you were doing. So don't think you can break a habit quicker or easier. You're replacing that habit with a new habit. It's going to take you at least the 66 days.
So part of making public commitments and
Yes.
public promises, another way that you can do that is make written commitments.
Okay.
You write these to yourselves or you write these to others, but take the time to write down what your destination is, what your habits are that you're going to create, right? What your commitments are, so that it gets out of your brain. You see yourself writing it. It is going to be a fast track for being a more responsible individual. Now, a few other ones I want to point out.
Okay.
If for some reason you become irresponsible or you fail or you break,
Which we all will do at some point.
absolutely, what we want you to do is we want you to forgive yourself or forgive others so that you can move on. Because when you don't forgive, Chad, what you're really doing is holding on to that thing, and it's continuing to use up energy and emotions in your life. So you have to learn to forgive yourself and to forgive other people.
Bob, I forgive you for eating that ice cream.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I hope you can forgive yourself.
I have no intention of ever even thinking about it.
Forgiving yourself or doing it again?
Forgiving myself. I mean, yeah, look, in all honesty, like you have to feel like you did something, right? And so maybe I should be taking accountability for eating that ice cream when then I could forgive myself, but I'm not holding myself accountable for that particular thing.
Because the weight doesn't show up immediately.
Yeah,
If you don't do it again, you probably won't notice you did it. We do
I'm not
ice
doing
cream
this
for
every
dinner some
night,
nights.
you know?
We'll just have ice cream for dinner some nights. But if we did it every night, yes, then there would be some forgiveness needed.
All right.
Now, I work a lot on this with people we coach and mentor. And here's one of the things that they come back and they say, Chad, but that other person hasn't apologized. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person.
Right.
Forgiveness is allowing you to move on. They don't have to apologize.
Yep.
This is your journey to let go of whatever that thing may be, or for you to forgive yourself so that you can move on. It's a very important piece of the process.
We've maybe covered this before, Ben, but not when you're saying that. I want to ask you this question around this idea of forgiveness. Do I have to let them know I forgive them, or can I just forgive them in my own head?
I think you could do either one, but there is somewhat of a piece of power that's created
When you let them know.
when you go and say, Bob, I know that you and we had some tough times in the past. And to be honest, it's been so long, I don't really remember what they were. But number one, I just want to apologize for anything that I did that might have contributed to that. And I'm sure I have plenty of DNA on that situation. And number two, I don't even remember what happened or what you did. But no matter what it is, Bob, I just want to let you know that I forgive you and we're good. Now, you're not looking to rekindle some friendship or anything else. What you're simply doing is just you're looking to move on, right? To stop holding that resentment inside of you. When you do all these things, Chad, there's a certain level of benefits that are created where you move from being a victim to being somebody who's accountable and somebody that takes responsibility. What that really means is you are now somebody that gets results, that starts winning, right? They win more often.
Yep.
And you can start feeling like, really, like these are the traits of the winner. So do me a favor, walk through it one more time, each one of those items, and then wrap us up.
All right. The top 8 things that we have decided will help you when it comes to accepting and taking responsibility. 1, resist the temptation of blaming others. 2, no excuses allowed, no stories that go along with them. 3, have clarity on where you are going. Number 4, just take that first step. Number 5, no complaining about the journey. Number 6, make public and written commitments. Number 7, create the habits. And number 8, forgive yourself and others as needed.
The 8 steps of becoming more responsible. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening to another one piece of the Traits of a Winner series. Chad, wrap us up.
Well, I want to let everybody know that coming up later this week, we're going to talk to somebody who definitely accepts responsibility. And Bob and I had the chance to talk with orthopedic surgeon.
Woo.
So come check that episode out. Hear from an orthopedic surgeon about what it's like to take action and accept responsibility in his occupation. And then join us on facebook.com/group/win-make-give, where we always continue the conversation. We look for your charities that we can live up to the give part of Win, Make, Give. And we're going to be looking for you to give us a few charities that you want us to see us donate to as with each listen during season 2, we donate more. And until our next episode, as always, do good.